Hello everyone, welcome to a Crispy Flicks review of Birds of Prey.
So, Birds of Prey is a movie about Harley Quinn breaking up with the Joker. All the villains in Gotham, most of them, are now after her because the Joker isn't protecting her, and she has to form an unlikely alliance with other femme fatales in Gotham.
Is there anything that you liked about the movie?
Yeah, there's quite a bit. I like the violence in it. I thought the violence was really visceral. It was bloody.
The violence was a key highlight from what I saw anyway. That's got to be my favourite part of this whole movie. There's one part where she jumps on a guy's legs and bends them the wrong way and snaps them. It's horrible.
Yeah, and there's the classic scenes with Black Mask. The main villain of the film is just skinning people's faces. They really did They did the R rating really worked well for him in the gore department for this film. Yeah, I also liked the fact that this film the stakes of it were so believable. There wasn't some belly dancing interdimensional witch. It was literally just some mafia guy wanting to kill Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, I can get behind that. Mm-hmm. That's completely believable to me.
No OP superheroes. As much as I do love the OP superheroes sometimes, certain, I need a break sometimes. And this movie is just people with no superpowers going at it, and the action's fantastic. And like you said, the stakes were very real life kind of.
Yeah. I feel like the movie also sort of padded out Harley a lot from Suicide Squad, because she was just edgy in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
She just felt like...
Try hard.
Yeah. And she just felt like a bit of an accessory character to the Joker thing that they had going on. And in this, it's we actually see she's actually pretty insecure coming off the back of the relationship ending with Joker. Mm-hmm. And it's refreshing to see her sort of doubt herself and be kind of, human in that aspect.
Yeah. So she's just like a normal person.
Yeah,
when it comes
doubts.
Down to it.
Yeah, and that's
I feel like people could get behind that because they'll have the same type of feelings coming off a relationship as bad as that one.
Yeah.
They come out of that. I feel like people could see themselves in her almost.
I love Black Mask. He's just absolutely fantastic in this film. I know you don't like him.
I think he was. We can get onto what we didn't like. I'll let you.
Yeah, I just thought Black Mask, played by Ewan McGregor, was charismatic. He was cool. I just thought that he added a lot to the film in a pretty unique way. He wasn't like villains that we've seen before in DC. He was kind of similar to the Joker in some ways. He was a bit of a egomaniac and a showman. But, then the scene where he just puts on that iconic black mask for the first time, it's it is a moment where you're like, oh. Yeah. Wow.
I loved Black Mask's suits and his costume. That mask looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's so intimidating.
Yeah,
it's really freaky. It's scary.
It's like a cross between a ballistics mask and a skull mask, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
Yeah,
really cool.
Unfortunately,
there's a lot more cons.
There's a lot more cons.
There's a lot more cons to this movie.
Yeah.
So let's just say I did not like this movie. If you're going into this movie wanting a easy watch action flick, then you'll probably really love it. But me and Jacob are huge fans of these comic books. We love reading into this side of stuff, and there's a lot of things that don't add up or make sense with the characters involved.
And not even just from a comic book standpoint, just from a basic storytelling standpoint.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I feel like so much of this film could have been made so simpler, and it would have just worked out better. They have this non-chronological storytelling method, and we've seen that in like recent shows like The Witcher, and I'm just not a fan of it.
No.
It just feels...
It's just confusing sometimes.
Yeah.
Very confusing, and it kind of messes with the tension of a certain scene. It's like there'll be a really
I wouldn't even say that.
scene.
I would say it messes with the tension of multiple scenes.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
like they'll just be like a really tense scene, and it'll just pause, and then Harley will voice over. Oh, let me take you back to where it all started. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, just leave it. There's so many flashback scenes that ruin moments for a like quick like quirky little quip
Yeah.
kind of thing. And it's like, yeah, it's funny the first time, kind of, but when it's repeated over and over again, it gets tiresome.
Yeah, it just feels like someone's constantly interrupting you on a really good conversation.
Yeah.
And you have to figure out where you left off after like 30 minutes.
Yeah, and not only that though, but with how they do this like non-chronological storytelling stuff, they let Harley voice over all of the flashbacks, even the flashbacks that she's not even in.
Yeah.
So from a real life standpoint, like I get it's a movie and not to take it too seriously, but it doesn't make any sense how she would know what's going on in other people's flashbacks because she's not there to see it.
Yeah.
But she's telling us what's happening and what's happened, but she doesn't. She wasn't there to see it. So how can she tell us? Why is she showing us this? Like,
yeah, she's recalling events she wasn't even present for.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
And that cartoon at the start.
Yeah, the cartoon wasn't too great, was it? It was a bit cheesy.
It's a cheesy cartoon with a cheesy voiceover that you see in Netflix rom-coms. You know, the whole like, oh, I'm a new girl in town.
Yeah.
And there's this hot boy that I like. But it's like, it's a cheesy cartoon. It gives us a brief explanation as to why her and the Joker aren't a thing anymore. You know, this movie is rated R. In the comic books, they're known to you know, the relationship's known to be very violent.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of fighting and like
abuse.
Yeah,
Generally, yeah.
a lot, but they don't show an ounce of it. And in an R-rated movie, it would have fit really, really well.
They really dodge around the topic of Jared Leto not being there.
Yeah.
And it's weird because this movie could have at least done with an explanation as to why the Joker wasn't in it, because it's not just that Joker's broken up with Harley Quinn. It also leads into a big part of like Black Mask's motivations in this movie, because Black Mask is now muscling in on Joker's territory, and it's like, I was just asking myself, how's he able to do these things? Where's the Joker? Where's he actually gone? And it's fair enough that, you know, Jared Leto's not playing the character anymore, but you need to at least explain like where the Joker is, at least until you can make sense of the whole mess that DC is going through now.
Well, yeah, because they say that Joker's not with Harley, so they can go after Harley, but surely the Joker still runs the city.
Yeah.
Because he has been. And just because he's broken up with Harley doesn't mean he's going to leave the city that he runs.
Yeah.
That's not a Joker thing to really do. And also, from what I think, if Joker and Harley broke up, he would be going after Harley, trying to like manipulate her to come back to him.
Yeah,
but there's none of it. It's just Joker's not here in this movie.
It's also,
and just deal with it.
It's also worth noting that Jared Leto did have scenes in this film, and they were cut.
Yeah, just like in Suicide Squad, they cut a load of his scenes out, and it was a big mess.
And
in this film, he's not even in it.
It really would have benefited from having those scenes, because I think it would have added more context, and you know, people wouldn't be questioning, well, where is Joker, and why is he not trying to save Harley from being pursued by Black Mask and all of his goons and all these bounty hunters that are after him?
Oh yeah.
So, what did you think of the humour in the film then?
Deadpool, but very much forced. I feel like they tried to be too much like it, with the flashbacks, the voiceover, the swearing. I feel like you said to me, there's too much swearing to the point where it comes across as cringy. It's like, a film doesn't need to have jokes that have swearing in. There's a lot of, you know, there's ways you can make a film, you know, make you laugh without the F word. And
Yeah.
fuck this bitch, fuck that bitch, fucking I'm gonna fucking pop a cap
Yeah.
in your ass.
Yeah.
Just came across as they're trying to be edgy and R-rated.
Yeah, and I think that just most of the humor in general was toilet humor.
Yeah.
There's so many like jokes made out of like one of the most irritating jokes in the film, and it's funny for about 5 seconds. Is a character by the name of Renee Montoya ends up knocking a sandwich Harley Quinn has out of her hands, and she doesn't let it go. It's an ongoing gag throughout the whole film, and they drag it out to like the far end of a fart, and it's just.
And
So
they actually call back to it in the very last scene that we see. Harley and Cassandra are eating that same sandwich from the same shop, and it's like, oh, full circle, she got a sandwich.
Yeah.
It's not that funny.
No.
It's a sandwich.
No, really.
Just
work for me.
it didn't need to be there.
Yeah, we commented on like, the fighting being pretty good and the gore being good. One thing I really didn't like, slow motion.
Oh yeah.
It looked jank as hell.
It's just, I feel like it's an overused trope these days.
Yeah.
Slow motion fighting.
I
It's
mean-
like, why not just let the action flow naturally? Like,
I've-
that's
yeah.
why movies like John Wick are so great. There's no slow-mo. It's just action.
I think what might have made my opinion worse of like the slow-mo that's used in Birds of Prey is we've just recently watched Dredd, and Dredd is one of the few films that can actually
pull off
slow-mo and actually has a narrative reason for why slow motion exists in it.
Yeah.
And it's done so well, and then to see it be done
Just
in such a garish way in Birds of Prey, it's like night and day comparing the two.
It almost takes apart from the the intense fighting that's going on, because it's like, oh, fast movements, slow motion, and it's like, oh, well, I was into it.
Yeah.
And then it's slow motion, fast movements, more slow motion. It's like, just let the action flow naturally. It'll make for a better fight scene. Use slow motion every now and again, sure, but don't overdo it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I just didn't think that the location was great either. I get that it's supposed to be Gotham, but when the characters are all walking around it, it's just New York. And you can see that it's just New York.
Yeah.
I mean, you get people like Tim Burton and even Joel Schumacher in their respective Batman films. They've done Gotham in their own way. You kind of had like a sort of neo-dystopian thing with Joel Schumacher, and then you had like a really gothic kind of Gotham with Tim Burton. In this, there isn't any effort to make it look any different.
It's just kind of like a street.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You can. I think in some shots you can even see the Empire State's building. It just kind of took me out of it, and I never believed that we were actually in Gotham. And I think even you forgot we were in Gotham in this film a few times.
Go back to the Joker, right? The Gotham in Joker.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's horrible. There's trash bags everywhere. There's mutant rats.
The new Joker
There's
movie.
spray paint everywhere, and you really feel like the setting matches the film. It's like it's a disgusting setting. That's what that place is meant to be like. But in this movie, it just seems like they're in a city, and it's nondescript. It's just a city anywhere in the world, but it is actually Gotham.
So I want to touch on a pretty important point in the movie. The Birds of Prey.
Okay.
What did you think of them?
Huntress, like you've said to me, is an action set piece brought in for action. She is the most one-dimensional character in the whole movie.
Yeah.
And I get she's like had a traumatic childhood, and it's hard for people that have grown up with traumatic childhoods to snap out of have a bit more to them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, regardless of any of that, there's no setup to her. She's just killing people, and then she comes into a shop, and then it's like, oh, here's her backstory briefly, and it's Harley Quinn doing the voiceover, of course, because she was obviously there, even though she wasn't, and it briefly shows us what happened in her childhood, and it's trying to make us care about her, but she's been in the movie for 5 minutes, so it's hard to care. It's
really forced.
Yeah, it's like you must like this character because she's gone through troubles, but why? She's been in the movie for 2 minutes.
I also feel like before her parents are murdered, you know, she's like, you know, the daughter of a mafia boss, and then she goes away to get trained and stuff, and that's the Huntress I wanted to see, but it doesn't feel like the Huntress we ended up getting.
No.
She was kind of cringy and a bit awkward.
Yeah.
And I just didn't think anything of her, really. She didn't add anything, and I don't even remember what her lines were because I don't think she had anything memorable to say.
That's a really good point. Now you mention it, she has no, like you said, she has no memorable lines. She's just there for fighting. I
mean, she did say the thing like she's got this thing about introducing herself as Huntress to try and be a badass, but I think that's about it.
Yeah, but they turn it into a joke though.
Yeah, and it's like, again, it's a joke that overstays its welcome.
Yeah.
Because they do it so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who else is there? There's Renee Montoya.
Yeah. Her accent is over the top, to be honest.
Incredibly over the top. But it's you can tell it's just not how she's used to speaking, and she's really hamming it up.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of cool ideas with Renee Montoya. She's got a drinking problem. You know, she used to go out with the deputy district attorney, and all these things are completely glossed over. They're just mentioned and never explored again.
But if they explored it in depth, it could have made for an interesting,
compelling character we could have actually cared about. Yeah.
Rather than just like, oh, you drink too much, and then that's the only reference. Or she mentions that she went out with that person, and
district attorney.
Yeah, but it's never mentioned again, and there's no like repercussions from their previous relationship. Like, do they hate each other? We don't really know. I guess they kind of do.
Yeah.
But it's not really focused on when it should be. Like her drinking. We know that she's an alcoholic. Is it focused on?
No, it's just a joke, actually. It's more played off as a joke.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And then we've got, Black Canary. Very cool character in the comics. Very, very cool. Yeah. She's a very, classical character. I didn't think she was too bad. I thought out of all the birds of prey, they did the most interesting stuff with her because she's essentially a henchman for Black Mask throughout most of the movie, and she's got this conflict of, should she betray Black Mask and side with this new group that, of Harley Quinn and Renee Montoya and Huntress, or should she, just stick with Black Mask for a bit because, it's a stable job. She doesn't want to step out of line because it's money. She's really cool, but once again, it's not the best. I just think that they could have done more again. Yeah. And it feels like a pretty forced partnership with all the birds of prey and Harley Quinn anyway.
Yeah. I mean, we only see them join forces as a team in the very final act.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, well, they're all coming for us, so why don't we just team up? And then that's it. There's no build-up. It's just, let's team up because they're coming after us. And then they work perfectly as a team somehow.
Yeah, and I want to touch upon my least favourite character now.
No, go on.
The walking, talking MacGuffin, Cassandra Cain.
Yeah.
She is so bad. I think that it wasn't so much her acting as it was the material she was given. I just think that this character was designed by people that have only got a vague understanding of what a child is like. It just feels like she was just so edgy for the sake of being edgy. Everything that comes out of her mouth is meant to be a joke. She's constantly insulting all the characters around her.
Because she's a quirky teen.
Because she's a quirky teen in a comic book movie.
And also, that kind of reminded me of Negasonic Teenage Warhead, again, from the Deadpool movies, that this film really seemed like it was trying to be.
Yeah. Again, a character that was done better.
Yeah.
But...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, the thing that you brought up, she's Black Bat.
Oh, yeah. She is a very integral character to the comics, and she's completely the opposite in this film. Oh, we got your pet peeve as well.
What, that Harley Quinn's like a fucking superhuman in this?
Yeah, she's like super durable. She's made out of like titanium.
No, mate. No. She's made out of Beskar.
Yeah.
Mate. She's gone to Mandalorian. She's like, right, I need this. I've just stole this gem. Fucking get me some Beskar over now. It's stupid. There's this scene, and I've been in the past like day, I've mentioned this like 4 or 5 times.
You have, yeah.
It pissed me off, right? So she's like on rollerblades for some reason, because she can rollerblade in this movie.
I think it is referenced in the comics that she does have a thing with rollerblades, but
yeah, but in this film it's just kind of like
a quirky attribute.
Now, and it's like, oh, look at her, now she can rollerblade. But anyway, that isn't the point. The point is, she's rolling down the road, right? A car fucking speeds up, does a handbrake turn, bulldozes her with the tail end in her legs. She goes flying into this van, right?
Yeah.
She just gets up and starts rollerblading. No broken bones.
Nothing.
Not even like a bruise. If that would have happened to a regular human like she is, because she's not got any superpowers.
She's a good gymnast.
Yeah, but like we referenced earlier on, there's no OP superheroes or supervillains in this movie.
Isn't.
They're all normal people. And that would have destroyed anyone's legs.
Yeah, that's true.
But she gets up and starts rollerblading.
And there is a theme in this film with people's legs getting destroyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jazz brought it up. Shout out Jazz. When Harley Quinn jumps on that guy's legs and breaks them. She doesn't weigh a lot. She's not tall. She's not like well built. She's a slim girl. And she jumped on someone's legs and broke them. She gets absolutely fucking pummeled by a car.
Yeah.
She gets up and starts rollerblading. And on top of that, she gets up rollerblading, then she starts doing fucking gymnast fighting on a moving car. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
She's superhuman. And when Black Canary does her scream, right, Harley Quinn rides the wave of it by putting one finger in each ear. It's like...
And then it's like tearing through... The shockwave is like tearing through cars and like busting mirrors and stuff like that. But
Harley Quinn with a finger in her ears, she can just ride the wave and just... Because it's like a funny little... Oh, look at her riding it. Ha.
I think...
No. We haven't mentioned one thing that we were banging on about.
Go on.
Where is Batman?
Ah, yeah.
So this is Batman's home city, where he works with the GCPD on a regular basis, stopping, the just bad guys. He works with them. Where is he? He isn't even. There is nothing, and I get Ben Affleck again, like Jared Leto, isn't Batman no more. But there's no even mention. Like there's a brief mention because Harley names her hyena Bruce after the Hunky Wayne guy.
Yeah.
But
that's as much
realistically,
that's as much as looking as Batman gets in this movie.
But realistically, if there's vigilantes going around his city causing chaos, he's gonna be there to fucking stop it. But he's not, and it's not realistic. And Jim Gordon's not even there either. Where's Jim?
I mean, all of this could have been solved by just setting it in a different city.
Yeah, that's what I said. It's just like, don't set it in the city where Batman resides and protects.
Yeah.
He would not let this happen.
Well, judging by from what, the city actually looked like, they could have passed it off as New York.
well, even though they call it... Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Right. Closing statements, Jacob. Your final thoughts, because this has been about half an hour.
I think my, closing statement, my closing criticism of this film, I think it's the biggest criticism I can give it. None of these characters feel like a team.
No.
it's passed off as being like a team film in the same sort of vein as Suicide Squad. I don't get that impression.
No, well, no, because they team up for like the last like half an hour, if that, just because.
Yeah, that's being generous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it could have benefited from them meeting earlier in the film and actually forming like an alliance earlier.
Definitely.
And it would have made for a lot more exciting action set pieces, I think.
And also for a more, like, we could have thought, oh, this is why they work so well together as a team, because they know each other. But they work really well as a team, but they've only just met.
Yeah.
And it's mental.
Yeah, I just thought it didn't work properly. I just think it's a really middling film. It doesn't do anything, outwardly unbearable, but it doesn't do anything, unbelievable either. It's just the epitome of meh. And I don't feel too strongly about it. There aren't too many characters I really was invested in. And yeah, I'm going to give it probably a 3 out of 5.
Well, I think if you're just going into this movie wanting a comic book film, don't go in thinking like that. Go in thinking about an easy to watch action movie and you'll enjoy yourself. There's so many bad moves that don't make sense and cringy dialogue and, like Jacob said, cringy slow-mo. I didn't enjoy it. I didn't feel like I was looking at the characters from the books. I think I was just looking at things happening in an action movie. And I didn't really enjoy that. I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5, which takes the overall total up to a 5.5 out of 10. Not quite certified crispy. Needs to get to 8 out of 10 to be certified crispy, but maybe, the next movie we review, we'll get there. Who knows? Hope you enjoyed, everyone. Like and subscribe. We're going to have so many more stuff coming out from this channel. Also on our Instagram, link in the description. And that's about it. Like, subscribe. See you later.
See you later.